Alright YouTube, in this video we are going to see how to create sticky filter. So this is a filter, and if I scroll down below you will see the filter called stick, and if I scroll above the section the filter will stay on its place. Now consider this as a menu, and this as some random introduction, and consider these are the products of e-commerce, and consider this is the filter tab. The filter can be either input field or some range selector of HTML. Now if I scroll down, the product is so large, that means the number of for a product is more in a particular page, and that caused the user to come up for the search field. What I did is, if I scroll down, I have made the search field sticky, and if I scroll up it is going to stay on its place. Now the main part here is, what I have done is, it is sticking considering the height of the menu. The height of the menu is 80 pixel, and that 80 pixel is applied to the position top, and it is getting sticky. So without wasting any time, let's get started. I have left the source code in the description. Let's start creating to follow along the HTML pages. Now if you see, I am on the same folder. Let me open that folder, and I have saved it on the desktop. Select the folder and it will automatically open all the files inside the folder, and if you want you can press Ctrl V to hide and show the sidebar. If I just let me just click on HTML, and this is the HTML, and let me create the 3 files in the same folder, and I'm going to prefix to each of them, Ctrl N Ctrl S, index2.html. This is the HTML file. Let me create a style sheet. Going to name it as style2.css, and again the script file, script2.js. Now if you see, the only important thing that is required is .html, .css and .js. You can give any name. Exclamatory tab, link the style sheet on the head tag, style2.css. now link the script tag, script2.js. now we need header and some header content, and after the header we need a section. I have the class first. Let's just have a banner section text, and inside, after that we have a section. We'll name this class second, and it will contain a row. Inside row we have column first, RST, or shift alt down arrow will copy the same HTML, and then second, here it will just have input container. Inside the input container class we'll have input field, and let's have placeholder search filter, and on the second call we'll just have paragraph with 15 words, lorem 15 tab. I think it's too much. Ctrl V to hide the sidebar, shift alt down arrow 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. now if I just see how does it look, I've just named the index2.html, so this is how it looks without CSS. Now without wasting any time, let's just get into the CSS, and let me just add a basic style. I have added a Google font pop-ins on all element. For star means on all element I have added the font pop-ins, and I have removed the margin and padding. So if I save and refresh it, you will see the default margin and padding go away, and you will see all the text will have font go font family Poppins. Now we have header, and then we have section with class first, and section with class second, and this will hold the row, class row, and then this row will have column with class first and column with class second, and the first one will have input container. Inside the input container we will have input field, which is an HTML field. Now in the second we will have just paragraph. So this way of writing CSS is recommended to avoid CSS conflict. And in case if you know what is CSS specificity, I would highly recommend you to learn what is CSS specificity. So just to give you an hint, it's a concept like if there is 2 class, then it is 1 plus 1 2. If there is 4 class, 1 2 3 4 5, so that means we have 5 and we have 2. So CSS will compare 5 and 2. So 5 is bigger, so the style sheet for 5, the CSS rule for 5 will be applied. In this case these two are different, but consider there is another CSS rule which just have like this. If I say which will have the first priority, what CSS will do to add, which CSS rule will be added. So CSS will check the style, that the CSS will check the class. How many classes there? 1 2 3 4, 4 classes there, and here how many classes there? 3 classes there. So this has the highest specificity than this, so CSS will use this CSS instead of this. So I hope it is clear. If that doesn't clear, let just Google it and you'll have a lot more idea about it. Now without wasting any time, let's just add header. Let me give height to the header as 80 pixel, and let me add background color as, and whatever is there inside I want the color to be white. So this is how it looks. So let's just make this at the center. So display flex, align item center, justify content center. Cool. The same way you can just copy this and paste it to the first section. It's a banner section. For that we'll just have height of 200 pixel, section with class first. You can change the color to something grayish so that we can see the effect. I think we have not closed the section, so that seems to be all right. But the thing is, first I think this first section with class first. So let me type section with class first, not section inside class first. So now you can see this is the difference between section inside class first and section with class first. And you can have the font size of 2 rem just to see the difference. Cool. Now it's time for the second. So we'll give the width of 1200 pixel, or let's say 1100 pixel. My screen is small, so whatever is there inside I want it to be at the center. So display flex. So now it will be one after the other. Section with class second, and let's give width 100%, so that we can give width for the first class as 20%, and for the second column we can give 80%. And if you see, let's get into the inspect, get away from the responsive. Now second has row. Second, let's give width to the second. Yes, already width is there. Display flex, align item center, justify content center. So now you got it. Inside row, I think this is not applied properly. Not section inside, section with class. That is a mistake that we have done. Row, again row, inside second, section with class second, we have row. So this row is not getting affected. Okay. Now we got it. This is row, we got 100%, and then with 20 and with 80. So I want this to be side by side, so I'll give display flex to the row. So you will see side by side. And let's directly jump into the second column. So let's just give width as 20% and background color has gray as EDEVE, and whatever is there inside the second column, I want it to be display flex. So instead of one below the other, it will be side by side. So if it is 20%, I have given 20%. So technically there should be only 5 paragraph inside, but there seems to be more than 5. So to adjust properly, we'll use the property flex wrap to the container. Flex wrap. Now it will take only the specified space. So you will see only 5. Refresh this. So now there seems to be more space. So in order for them to be at the center, what we can do is we can give margin to it. Let me scroll down. Yeah. Now you'll see this is the second section. Second section seems to have a right padding more. So let me try margin top and bottom 0, left and right auto. So this trick would work. I hope this is not working. So in that case we can use margin top and bottom 0, left and right auto. So this trick will center align it. Cool. Now we want some margin to the paragraph. Margin bottom 1 rem, and we can have padding as well, 1 rem. Cool. If you want, we can have margin top as 1 rem as well, so that we can get some space between the banner section and the paragraph. Now if you want, you can add even more paragraphs, so we can increase the length of the page. Cool, that seems to work. Now let's focus on the input field. Let's add padding top bottom 0.5 rem, left right 1 rem, and margin top 1 rem. Cool, this seems to be okay as of now. Now we will create a class called sticky. It will have position fixed. Let's try adding sticky to the input field container, and let's try position fixed top of 0, left of 0. So now you see it's working as we thought. Instead of left, we just skip the left, it's just top. So now if you see, so this class will be applied once we get down to the height of the input field. So let me remove this. We'll add this using JavaScript. So when we need to add sticky to the input container, so once I get down to this position, I want the sticky class to applied on the input field. So it's really very simple. We just need to get into the JavaScript. So here we need to get document, we need to get the input field container document query selector, and it's a class, so dot input container, so into a variable, and then we need to add a event listener. So we need to understand the browser scroll. So understand the browser scroll window dot add event listener. So which event? It's scroll, and when it starts to scroll, I want to get the position of the input container. So we can get it using the input container dot offset height. So we'll store it into a variable called sticky position. So let me type console and check console.log. So we'll get the position of the input container once I scroll. So let me refresh this. If I scroll, this is the position of the input container. Now the same way we want to get the top position of the screen. So if I scroll down just below the 296, we need to identify it. So for that we need the top position. So you will see the same way window.page offset y will give you the scroll position. So if it's 10 100, it's 296 now. If I scroll down below, it's 400 now. The same way we are going to use the if condition. If we will be adding the class, else we won't be adding the class. We'll be adding the class to the input container dot style dot class list dot add. We have given the class sticky. The same way we'll be removing the class. We'll be using the condition. If the page top screen is greater than the sticky position, that is 296, then add the class sticky to the input container. So we don't have to write the whole thing because we have already stored this to a variable. We can use that variable. Refresh this. As I scroll down, you see that it got stuck. That means position fix is working. So if I scroll down, you can see it's working. Now I need some animation. So for the animation, let's add an animation show up 1 second duration and on a speed of linear. Let me define this animation at the rate keyframes, animation name, on 0 time frame opacity should be 0.5, and on 100th time frame opacity should be 1. Refresh it. Now if I scroll down, it will hide and it will show up. So let me increase the duration so that we can see the animation. So hide. Let's just make this start from 0 so that we can see it's gone and it's now showing up. It's gone and now it's showing up. So this is the type of animation that we need. Cool. So I think the scope of this video is done. In case if you want this style sheet, this script only to be applied on the desktop, we can do that as well. So this code will make sure your JavaScript code only runs above the screen width of 700 pixel. So once the screen width is 700 pixel, this function will get run, and this function, this is what we have defined right now. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening.